Now, new car buyers are in a bit of a dilemma these days because crossover SUVs are all the rage. But the thing about that is the cheapest crossover SUVs usually break the 1 million peso mark, which is beyond the budget of usual first-time car buyers. Thankfully, there's one car segment that's tailor-made for that particular market. It's the micro SUV, micro crossover segment, and that's what we have right here. It's the Kia Stonic Style Edition. Now, one of the first few cars that we featured here at Zigwheels Philippines is the Kia Stonic. It had this really nice yellow color to it that really looked good on camera and on the screens. Now, what we have right here is something different. It's got this red color that kind of fits the entire build, although it kind of looks more serious than the yellow color. I really dig this one here. Plus, you've got this new Kia badge up front that reflects Kia's new corporate identity. Now, this is actually the first time that I'm reviewing the Kia Stonic, and a lot of people tell me that this is their favorite small SUV, and I can't blame them. I mean, look at this. It's got that tiger nose grille. There really isn't any air openings there. You'll find the actual grille right here at the bottom. It has this nice honeycomb looking design to it, giving it a more sporty appeal. I gotta say, the overall look of the Kia Stonic really looks really stylish and iconic, and that's what Stonic actually means, stylish and iconic. And this, by the way, the Style Edition, is an uprated version of the entry-level EX variant. So you don't have any LED DRLs, you only have these projector headlamps, projector fog lamps, and that's basically it. Now, officially, Kia is marketing the Kia Stonic as a crossover, and I've been calling this a micro SUV, micro crossover, for the entirety of the review. Now, what makes a car a crossover? Well, there are a couple of things. For example, you have this increased ground clearance. What you have right here is 185 millimeters of ground clearance, which really is more than your regular sedan or wagon. Usually they have 120, 130 millimeters. This is heightened real nice there. But one thing about the Style Edition, though, is that it has this step board that integrates with the side cladding right here. But please don't step on those step boards because they will really not take any weight or any pressure, and you're not going to have a good day. That's definitely going to fall off if you step on it. Now, if you notice, the Kia Stonic does have this certain wagon-like appeal. It looks lower than usual. It's because of the overall height of the Kia Stonic. It's pretty much lower than your usual crossover, but because of the 185 millimeters of ground clearance, it looks sandwiched in between these two vertical spaces. So you're gonna need a little bit of contortion skills to get inside. That's what you would think, at least. Because of the actual dimensions of the Kia Stonic, there shouldn't be any problem, and it's not going to be hard for me to believe that this is a crossover because, hey, take a look. It does have the prerequisite black plastic claddings all around. Yeah, and the aforementioned step boards. Also, these functional roof rails up top there, you can actually give you a lot more versatility, especially when going out of town. Now, since this is the EX variant, it doesn't have the turn signals on the side mirrors right there. Those don't even fold automatically, and it doesn't have any of those chrome trims on the side, which I personally prefer, actually. Plus, those 16-inch alloy wheels shot in 195/60 R16 tires, by the way, they're blacked out. So in the normal Stonic, those things are actually two-toned or even have a aluminum look. But since this is the Style Edition, it has those blacked out wheels, which I really love. Again, since this is the entry-level EX variant, just uprated a little, it doesn't have the rear disc brakes. Not that it matters. Overall, the side profile of the Kia Stonic reminds me a lot of those old wagons. It's not really a wagon, but this is one of the more appealing reasons a lot of people are moving towards the Kia Stonic instead of your usual small SUVs. And the hits just keep on coming for the Kia Stonic Style Edition, especially right here at the back. Now, if you notice, those tail lamps are actually not LED tail lamps, but I like how they're designed in a way to give it a little bit more uniqueness for the overall affair of the designs. Now you can see the new Kia logo there again, and this chunky spoiler up top. Now, there are a couple of design features that some people might find iffy about the Kia Stonic. In particular, you got the license plate situated lower than usual. They would probably give it a little bit more better design if they put it right here in the middle, but check this out. If you open up this tailgate right here, you would notice that the lights the lights that illuminate the license plate actually hold up right here on top. This actually helps out with safety. Close that down right there because there are a couple of things I want to discuss further. So I like the typography of the Stonic badge right here. It looks so dynamic, it looks sharp. It has this youthful hype vibe to it that I really like. Plus the style edition, don't forget the style edition badge. Now you got these faux vents or faux exhaust ports. Well, something that really looks like exhaust ports. It really blends well with the overall design of Stonic. It doesn't look too fake, at least, to give it a a tacky look. But it is what it is. And I think the overall design of the Kia Stonic in this case is really something that's really well thought of. They didn't just want to put body kits on body kits on body kits right there. It's something that's the designers actually really thought. Now let's go back to the tailgate. You don't have power tailgate, by the way, but once you lift it up, it gives you access to all this space inside. About 345 liters of space with the second row seats up top. Now this allows you to put a lot of stuff right here in the back, and if you want to put heavy items though, a word of caution, because that floor right there, that trunk liner isn't actually the hard type, isn't a marine board. So if you put water jugs right there, that's going to bottom out. But underneath you'd find a donut type spare tire, which I really appreciate. Not a lot of cars well, there are a couple of cars these days that give you a tire inflator kit instead of a spare tire, but I appreciate that right there. If you need even more space, you can fold those second row seats down. They don't really fold flat per se, but at least you got more space to fit longer items. Overall, the exterior of the Kia Stonic really looks really stylish. Well, the jury's still out about that being iconic, but it really looks nice. It looks well thought of. Let's take a look at the inside and see if that carries over as well. All right, so inside the Kia Stonic Style Edition, what comes right at you right off the bat is how nicely sculpted everything is. In stark contrast to what modern cars have these days, where you got these sharp angles, industrial looking design, Kia has chosen a more curvaceous look for the interior. And if you ask me, this will definitely hold up better over time. The star of the show has got to be this touchscreen infotainment system. It does have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, thank goodness. It's very responsive and the refresh rate is smooth. It's very buttery smooth. Now the gauge clusters are your normal run-of-the-mill white font on a black background, and you got your digital screen in the middle. Again, it is very easy and intuitive to choose the different settings and different types of menus here for your car. And thankfully it does have a temperature gauge. A lot of these economy cars nowadays seem to move towards a direction where they omit the temperature gauge, instead give you this icon and tells you if you're already overheating. Not in this one. The steering wheel, this is your classic or your current steering wheel that Kia is adopting for its vehicles. It doesn't have a D shape to it. To be honest, I'm getting kind of tired of those D-shaped steering wheels. This one is nice. It has a smaller diameter to it, giving it a more sporty appeal. It's made of polyurethane. It's not leather wrapped, but everything that you need is there except cruise control. This, by the way, does not have cruise control. The steering wheel is not adjustable for reach, unfortunately. Only for rate. That means up and down, which it barely even moves up and down, but that's fine because for some reason the seating position right here gives me the optimal position for me to start driving. So this is all right for me. This is perfect. Gives you a nice commanding view of the road. You also have manual climate control here. Again, this is for the LX model. Automatic climate control is exclusive for the EX model, and right there below you got a solitary USB port for you to plug in your phone for Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. Next to it, you've got a 12-volt power socket and 6 speakers. You've got 6 speakers in a basic crossover SUV, which is surprising. You got 4 speakers on each door and 2 tweeters right here on the door frame. Let's take a look at the second row seats. I'll show you a couple of things. All right, so we're at the second row of the Kia Stonic, the Style Edition, and apart from having great decent space here, you got some nice room for your knees and your feet, despite me being seated behind my optimal driving position. Even if I recline a little bit here, it's fine. My head doesn't reach the headboard. Plus the windows, they open all the way down. Yes, This is probably one of my favorite features on entry-level cars because not a lot of not a lot of automatic windows, especially in the second row seats, roll all the way down. Usually they'd stop right there for some reason, but this one goes down all the way there. So yes, you won't be feeling claustrophobic inside or feel shortchanged because you know that the front passengers also don't have any soft touch materials. You don't even have a center console or center armrest here. No USB ports or rear AC vents. You'll have to ask the driver nicely if you can get your USB port right up front. It's got to be extra long. That's what she says. It's fine. Speaking of fine, this is one fine vehicle. Let's take it out for a road test and see how this performs. All right, so we're now behind the wheel of the Kia Stonic Style Edition. So under the hood, you've got a 1.4 liter dual overhead cam 4-cylinder naturally aspirated engine that makes 98 horsepower and 135 newton meters of torque. It's not a lot, but it's perfect for city driving. You're definitely not going to win a lot of drag races in this one. You really shouldn't be doing that anyway. And this is not made for canyon carving and all that. This is definitely made to live in its natural habitat, which is urban confines. Now that engine powers the front wheels and is moved by a 6-speed automatic transmission. Now the way it drives, it definitely gives you this feeling that you're not going to be as quick as you might want this to be, no matter how it looks on the outside. It does look kind of sporty, but it doesn't perform that way. But it's fine. Off-the-line acceleration isn't going to be its strong suit, but where it matters most, in the city, it definitely does it like a champ. The steering is, it's above average. Not just above average, actually. I would like to call this one of the better handling small cars, small crossover SUVs that I've ever handled. Now, up front, you've got your regular McPherson struts and a torsion bar suspension in the back. But because of the smaller wheelbase, it definitely doesn't feel like something that you'd expect it to be like floaty. It's still comfortable, don't get me wrong, but the suspension is a little bit on the firm side. But that's not really a bad thing, especially for someone who enjoys driving. It's not bad. NVH levels, you're not really going to expect a lot in terms of NVH, especially in an economy car. But it's fairly adequate. It does a great job trying to keep yourself isolated from the outside world, and it can handle those small little bumps on the road quite nicely, again because of the heightened ride height. When it comes to safety features though, this one has dual airbags. You got ABS and electronic brake force distribution. It does have a backup camera with guidelines to it, but it doesn't have proximity sensors as well. Of course, the best part of having a Kia Stonic is the fuel economy because of that 1.4 liter naturally aspirated engine and the 6-speed automatic transmission. It delivers quite well in that front. Traveling around the city, you can get around 11 to 12 kilometers per liter. Now, once you open it up on the highway, it gets even better. You get 18 kilometers per liter on the highway. Pricing for the Kia Stonic starts at 835,000 pesos for the entry-level manual transmission LX model. Now, if you want to get the automatic version of the LX from the manual, you then have to spend 900,000 pesos. But if you want a style edition, this one is available at 940,000 pesos, and you get complete with everything that we discussed here. And if you want the top of the line version, that's still not gonna break the bank as much as you think. It's 990,000 pesos for that top of the line model with better safety features, with LED DRLs, and all that. This is a very easy car to recommend, especially for those looking for their first brand new car or crossover SUV. This really lives up to its name because just looking at the car on the road, you wouldn't think much of it, but driving it, it has great driving dynamics. It has great features inside. It's a great first car. You can probably miss out on some of the power features or safety features that some other cars have. But once you get behind the wheel of this one, having it in your own garage, you'd appreciate and understand why this is a very
easily recommendable car, and I like it.
Thanks so much for watching, guys. I really enjoyed my time with the Kia Stonic and figuring out everything about it so you can know and make an informed decision about buying your first car. If you want to get the best price for the Kia Stonic or any other car that you'd like, head on over to Zigwheels Philippines and just register and go ahead, and we'll be offering you the best prices for your next car. Now, make sure that you subscribe to our channel and hit that notification icon so you wouldn't miss any of our videos. Again, thanks so much for watching. Roy Robles here from Zigwheels.Ph. See you guys next time.